Cool. Welcome to Saki's annual birthday concert. Birthday and happy Friday the 13th. This is, I think it would have been the 17th or 18th annual one, but I skipped a couple of years. So anyway, it's one of those. It's the 16th consecutive Saki recital. And so my actual birthday is next week, but I thought it'd be really fun to have a Friday the 13th themed program. So here it is, a little bit of history on that. The Friday the 13th has been considered an unlucky day only in like the last century and a half, and it's actually unclear why. So I think now it's really well established to be an unlucky day due to the movie franchise, but that is seriously the only thing I have found after lots of internet digging. So there's some other theories like, oh well, you know, at the Last Supper, the 13th apostle or whatever they're called, like that was the traitor. I don't know. I'm just like, yeah. But wait, so do you or do you not count Jesus? So it's kind of like, I think people are just like making stuff up at this point. Anyway, so I did try to curate a spooky program, and I guess we'll just jump right into the first one, which is someone who speaks French can tell me if it's wrong. It's Danse Macabre by Saint-Saëns. Also don't know. Okay. Oh yeah, for those who arrived late, scan the upper left corner QR code, and there's program notes. There's a detailed biography, somewhat detailed curated biography of the composer, and then underneath that there's a paragraph about the piece itself. So since not everyone's going to read about the piece itself, I will give a brief introduction. So this is a tone poem, which is like an art song that attempts to illustrate an actual text, like with words. So it started out as a literal poem for voice and maybe piano, I can't remember actually. And then it got turned into a violin piece, and then Saint-Saëns was like, I want to make this like a whole epic production, so he made a full orchestral work, no singer, no more lyrics, but he paints the lyrics. He does text painting, I think this is the actual technical term. He paints the lyrics with the instrumentation. So in the opening, you'll hear the harp play a single D, pluck a single D for 12 times. And this represents the 12 strokes of midnight that lead up to the devil's dance on Halloween. So supposedly the devil summons the skeletons from their graves, and they dance until the crack of dawn. And this only happens once you're on Halloween. And a really cool thing is the entrance of the solo violin starts out. You'll usually hear this as a tuning sound. You probably heard this before. This happens at the beginning of like every orchestra thing. They're tuning it, and it actually starts out with an out of tune tritone instead of a fifth, which sounds like this. I think the fine tuner doesn't go that low. Anyways, instead of this, it goes. So yeah, I don't want to pop on your screen using the peg tuner, but anyway, it has like a really cool effect of being uncannily dissonant, and so that's the devil's interval. This was the interval that was banned from church music because it sounded so terrible. They thought it's the devil's sound. So let's see. So that comes next, and then there's a bunch of other stuff that happens, and then there's a crazy waltz, and at the end of the waltz, you're going to hear one tone, and that represents the crack of dawn. And there's a little rooster crowing played by the oboe, and so that's like marks the end of the ritual. So, yeah, question?
Was this in Fantasia, the movie?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Forming all the
Yeah, I think so.
sounding
Yeah. Oh, answered by someone who has a yes. Okay. So Taylor and I are going to play the four hands piano arrangement tonight. I guess. Come on up. So this is an a cappella song. Okay, well, you can just read the artist bio about Baby Dodds and stuff. This is a really cool, spooky Halloween-themed piece, though. It's based on the superstition that seeing a single magpie, like in a tree or wherever, is considered bad luck. It's not really clear why exactly that is. There are some theories that, like, the magpies were considered the devil's bird because it had a little bit of white and not all black, which meant that it was not in proper mourning attire for when Christ died or something. So I don't know. There's another little more pagan origin of the superstition, which is that if you see a lone magpie, it means that the weather's going to be bad, because otherwise they would prefer to forage in pairs or more, maybe because food will be more abundant or something, so better harvest, who knows. And it's based on this nursery rhyme, this counting rhyme, kind of like one fish, two fish, one fish, two fish, but this one's about magpies. And the thought is, if you see one, it's bad luck. If you see two, it kind of like cancels out the bad luck, so it's good. And then, so they come up with some superstitions. It's like a method of divination. And this one goes up to 7. There's a version that goes up to 3, up to 13. You can read about that in the program notes. We are going to do the one that goes up to 7. And one of the customs when you see a magpie is to shout, "Devil, devil, I defy thee," and then spit on the ground. So we are not going to do any spitting on the ground tonight. We're just going to sing a song. So, we have an accordion and a little chair. We are going to be performing the version made famous by the Unthanks, like unthankful, but they're just called the Unthanks. And I thought, oh, that's a cool name. I wonder where it came from. It turns out it's just the last names of the sisters who started the group, so it's a pretty cool last name. Was it? Oh, yeah, actually, oh, I like the roots. Oh, thank you. Oh, they do match my roots. Yeah, oh, I don't get a skip. Oh, just kind of drum. Okay. Okay, so see. Oh, I did want to talk about the music theory just a little bit. So one really cool thing about these harmonies is that there's often a hollow chord. So it only has the root and the fifth, so that it doesn't have a major or minor feel. And that's really cool because it's ambiguous and unstable. So the devil's chord. Not really, the devil's chord would be a tritone, which we would not be able to sing to. Okay. Shall I do this one?
Once for sorrow, two's for joy, three's for a girl and four's for a boy, five's for silver.
a prelude by Chopin. And these are, so usually a prelude is like an introduction to something, but Chopin just decided to like write a bunch of things kind of just for fun. And he kind of was one of the earlier composers to say like, who needs a thing to follow a prelude? Just write the prelude, and it's cool. So kind of like when writers are like having writer's block and they just gotta hash out all those ideas and they write a million short stories and they just come up with these little concepts and they're really cool on their own and they have the potential to be developed into a greater work later on if they decide to do that. So this is just like a demo for a whole album. And this one is the second prelude in A minor. And it's kind of got a funeral march vibe to it. So I thought it was on theme. All right. I switched out that one last minute to fit the theme of the program a little bit more. I did want to point something out. So that really cool little motif on the left side, you'll hear it again throughout the night. Okay. So that was our little transition piece into something totally, completely different. We are now transitioning into Disneyland. We are going to have a song that many of you probably already know. It's called Poor Unfortunate Souls, and it's sung by the sea witch, Ursula, who is, who in here has not seen The Little Mermaid? Okay, dang it, I was going to skip the intro. Okay. Do you know the story by Hans Christian Andersen?
No.
Oh, okay. So quick rundown, there's a mermaid, there's a bunch of them, they're all in the Mermaid City, and this one, the Princess Ariel falls in love with a human, and she's like, oh, I want to go like be with him and stuff. So she ends up seeing the sea witch, Ursula, and Ursula's like, oh, I'll cut you a deal. I'll trade, you can have legs and be a human, but I get to keep your voice. And she's like, but I'm a singer. And then she's like, yeah, you'll figure it out. So this is the song where the sea witch is trying to like convince her, like, hey, you don't got many options here, so take it or leave it, girlie. So this is going to be sung by our amazing sea witch, Daniel Watts. No, I think I need a better chair. That one's actually really low for a podcast. Yeah. Oh, wait, nobody's using this one right now. Yeah, could you? Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah. Maybe here, stand. I do need a seat. Oh geez, are you switching out the music lesson? It's a good thing you know I'm perfect pitch, that's the wrong key. Oh, you're right. No, we were going to do an A minor with Jeff, but okay. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, correct order. Wait, are you going to be back there?
Where should I be?
There.
Next to Daniel Watts.
Yeah. We should. We'll be Flotsam and Jetsam.
Oh, yes.
She's playing the pages.
She's playing pages.
Oh, well, you're wearing the.
Yeah.
I make these bolo ties. If anyone wants to custom order a bolo tie,
Yeah,
please
my
want
dog
me.
is in it. I mean, not a picture of my dog. We didn't have her like creamy. That'd be super spooky.
All right, which time? Oh wait. Do you have enough room for all of your tentacles? All your
Yeah, I
6
think I'm good.
tentacles?
I learned this yesterday, so we're
Yeah.
I admit that in the past I've been a nasty. They weren't kidding when they called me, well, a witch. But you'll find that nowadays I've mended all my ways. I've repented, seen the light, and made a switch. True, yes. And I fortunately know a little magic. It's a talent that I always have possessed. And here, lady, please don't laugh. I use it on behalf of the miserable, lonely, and depressed. Pathetic. Poor unfortunate souls in pain, in need. This one longing to be thinner, that one wants to get the girl. And do I help them? Yes, indeed. Those poor unfortunate souls, so sad, so true. They come flocking to my cauldron, crying, "Spells, Ursula, please!" And I help them? Yes, I do. Now it's happened once or twice. Someone couldn't pay the price, and I'm afraid I had to rake them across the coals. Yes, I've had the odd complaint, but on the whole I've been a saint to those poor unfortunate souls. Then Ariel's all, wait, what do I have to pay? It's like, you gotta give me something. I don't have much money, please. How about your voice? But my voice, I can't talk to the prince. But you've got other things. You'll have your looks, your pretty face. And don't underestimate the importance of body language. The men up there don't like a lot of blabber. They think a girl who gossips is a bore. Yes, on land it's much preferred for ladies not to say a word. And after all, my dear, what's idle prattle for? Come on! They're not all that impressed with conversation. True Gentlemen avoid it when they can, but they dote and swoon and fawn on a lady who's withdrawn. It's she who holds her tongue who gets her man. Come on, you poor unfortunate soul. Go ahead, make your choice. I'm a very busy woman and I haven't got all day. It won't cost much, just your voice. You poor unfortunate soul. It's sad, but true. If you want to cross a bridge, my sweet, you've got to pay the toll. Take a gulp and take a breath. Go ahead and sign the scroll. Flotsam, jetsam, now we got 'em, girls. The boss is on a roll. This poor, unfortunate
Daniel decided to hop onto that song because I really wanted it for the program and I could not find a woman with a low enough voice. So this was sung by a 62-year-old lady, which makes a lot of sense. And it was, the character Ursula was based on this drag queen's Divine. For those of you who've seen Queen Flamingos, I don't recommend it if you haven't. It's really nasty.
An acquired taste.
Can't be recommended.
Acquired taste.
Okay, next. Ooh, we have a really cool piece coming up next. Oh.
No, but I'm familiar with this opera.
So this one is called the Doppelgänger, which I guess is a word that has now entered the English vernacular, but it is basically a living ghost. Wait, that sounds weird. No, it's a ghost of a currently living person, so that's why it's a double and not just like a remnant of a soul. And so, scan the program notes QR code. You will see a very detailed thing on it. It is a song by Schubert, who is famous for doing a whole bunch of other songs. You probably know the Earl King. That's probably a little bit more famous than the Doppelgänger. And there's a whole copy of the German poem with English translations there. I think I will just read it since I see many of you are not on your phones, just so you can have some context, because we're going to do a version of it where there's no lyrics because he's just going to play bass. But it retains all the spooky qualities. But anyway, to give you a little bit more background, I'm going to read you the English version because most of y'all don't understand German, I assume. So, the night is quiet, the streets are at rest. In this house lived my sweetheart. She has long since left the city, but the house still stands on the self-same place. Another man stands there and looks to the sky, the heavens, and wrings his hands, overwhelmed by pain. It terrifies me when I see his visage. The moon shows me my own form. You wraith, which is how they translate Doppelgänger. You wraith, you pale chap. Why do you mock the pain of my love, which tormented me on this very spot so many a night, so long ago? So something like that. So again, similar to the Magpie song, there are these spooky, there are these spooky hollow chords. Bone rattles. So, for example, so that's just, it's just the first and the fifth. We don't have a third to fill it in. So if we did have a third, it would sound like this. That's a minor key, which is spooky a little bit, but it's kind of, because it's less ambiguous than this, I think it's less spooky. And then there's also the plain old happy major. So this piece has a whole bunch of hollow chords or ambiguous chords in terms of harmony. And you'll hear this little figure, this motif repeated throughout the piece. This like little looming ostinato. And you're like, ooh, how ominous. And once in a while, and this is just my opinion, I think there is a Doppelgänger figure in here, and I think it's the, but you can fight me on that. But that's my interpretation. It pops out once in a while, and it's just like the moonlight peeking through the clouds, threatening to reveal something. So yeah, is there anything you want to add about?
No, you nailed it.
Okay. Okay. And we got the man on lights ready for the. I want to warn people so they don't get a heart attack.
It's supposed to be more concentrated.
Okay, so that guy's name is Bob. We don't know him, he just appeared there one day. Next, we have something a little bit more upbeat. We have some video game music. This one's called Bonetrousle, and it's from a really cool Indian. It's from a really cool indie game called Undertale, designed by, single-handedly created by Toby Fox. And what do I want to say about this one? It happens with like a second encounter with a super flamboyant skeleton who wants to date you. He's like an enemy, but he's like, or am I? And so he captures you and then you escape. the second time he captures you, he leaves you a note that says like, oh, I wait, I think it's like actually in here. But he says like, oh, I was worried. You left me Bonetrousle, and you're like, what word is this? So it's a made-up word for the game. But this piece is called Bonetrousle, and it's the battle music for when you're fighting this guy. All right. Let's have the musicians come to this stage. Alright, we are going to play a Muse score arrangement by Jeffrey Zhao. Pretty good one. Oh yeah, do y'all need a tune? You could play notes? Can you remind me how fast? Okay. Wait, 2 times.
How many times are there?
You want to do 2 or 3?
We'll do
3. Okay, we're doing
Okay.
it. It's a video game. It's a long battle.
It's a normal clarinet, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
It's
It's a very nice one. I just got it this year recently. Yeah.
Second question, speaking of indie games, please tell me you played Stray.
Oh yeah.
Okay, thanks. I'm playing it now.
Well, I didn't play it. I watched my friend play.
Okay.
It's a little easy, yeah, because we're not the musicians. Yeah. He has one song next? Okay. This one? Yeah, this one that's short. Okay, so the next one is Willow's song from the movie, the spooky movie, The Wicker Man. And you can go ahead and explain it.
Okay, so this is a movie from the 70s, and it has this incredible, very 1970s folk music score. It is about a police officer who is sent to a remote island off the coast of Scotland to investigate a missing girl. And when he gets there, the locals are participating in a pagan ritual. It's a pagan cult. And they are not cooperating with the investigation. They are doing everything in his power to throw him off, everything in their power to throw him off the scent. And so he ends up staying the night at this inn, and the innkeeper's daughter tries to seduce him. The problem is he's engaged to be married, he's a Christian, and he's got a job to do. So he's not an especially likable character, like you don't want to party with him, but he's a good guy. He's just trying to get his job done. So this is her siren song to him. They are in separate hotel rooms, and she is banging on the wall trying to get him to come home.
You don't want to do spoilers?
Oh, if you would like to find out what happens to him, you can read Saki's synopsis in the program notes. And if you just want to watch the movie and find out, which I recommend, it's a really good movie, then just watch it.
I just realized I printed it in colors instead of black and white, so there are all these red and blue lines that are.
Do you want my copy in your computer?
No, it's okay. Okay. Okay.
With a piece.
Ready?
Yes.
show. This didn't happen the first
Hey, the woman was actually naked in the film, so I spared you. This was the G version.
I didn't realize that because the dress looks really similar to what you're wearing. I was so excited for pattern. Yeah. Okay, and now for our Black Cat song of the night. We are going to do an Astray Catalyst original. So that is a song that I wrote. And it's a funny story. I wrote this and it's on my album, Saki's Epic Bluegrass album. And it's a bluegrass / bluegrass album, obviously. And so we, the people who recorded it end up liking it, like the guest musicians on the album, and now they have their own cover with other guest musicians. And so I moved to Vienna, and I came back and was like, wow, there are people covering my song. That's amazing. So we're going to play that version of it, and I will hop in on, I left my chart on my computer tray at home. I'll look over someone's shoulder.
Okay.
That's my song, I should know. Huh? I know. I read the lyrics to my own songs all the time. All right, let's. So we have not played this together before, but since we're all jazz musicians, everything should go accordingly. Accordingly. Wait, is yours turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wait, spare chair. Can someone grab it? Thanks. Oh, just kidding, it's not spare. I thought you were gonna make that.
Are we doing the mic or not? Am I just gonna project?
Oh, up to you.
Is it on?
I don't think so.
I don't think we could hit that switch if you could. Check.
Check. All right. Okay.
And solos, do you want first?
Like when we do it, we're.
Yeah.
Saki, do you want
Do you want to solo?
Sure, I saw the YouTube video of the cover.
Great.
I'll just take the spot that was April solo.
Okay.
Okay, sounds
Super.
good.
Okay, so yeah. Let me make sure this thing's in tune.
So I'm the second A.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Want me to just unsustain chords?
Whatever you like.
Kinda.
I can share it from the recording, so.
Okay.
You can really get away with murder on it. It's jazz.
Then we have it.
Yeah. Yeah. So us two just do a quick intro.
Okay. Or it will sound good.
Cool. What's the last thing? Oh yeah, as we're Hot Club de Claremont, and we liked Saki's song, so we covered it. Cheers.
Pretty much sums it up.
I buy him a good start.
we're ready, guys.
What is next? All right, next we got a solo piece. I really should have thought this through. I picked the most complicated stage.
You.
I think that's the last time that comes out. All right, this next one is Brahms. So this is like the Prelude. So this is an intermezzo, which is supposed to be kind of like an interlude. So interlude being the thing that happens between two bigger things, like transition music. But composers also decided, hey, why not just write interlude music? Like, aren't we always going from one place to another? So anyway, this is an intermezzo, a freestanding one, published as a collection of 5 other pieces. So it's part of 6 pieces. And 3 or 4 of those pieces were actually intermezzi, 4 out of the 6. And this one is number 6. It is in E flat minor, kind of a spooky key. It's a lot of black keys. And I wanted to use this opportunity to tell you a little bit about the Dies Irae motif, which is from the Gregorian chant times. Oh, I know some of y'all say you had to go at like 8. You can leave whenever. So like, yeah, get to the airport and whatnot. Okay. So where's here it is. Oh my notes. So the Dies Irae motif, which is it gets longer, but that's the main part. So that's from Gregorian chant times when they used to like chant Latin and no one knew what they were talking about. It was spooky anyway. And so this is from, there's a translation in the program notes, but I'll just read it to you. It's Dies irae solvet se cum in pravilo. I actually don't read Latin. Tested tat davi or david cum sigillet. And that translates to, day of wrath, that day will dissolve the world in ashes. This is the testimony of David along with the you know how to say it. Civil? Okay. I'm clearly like really uneducated, but anyway, I copied and pasted that from Wikipedia. So anyway, the full chant goes like this. Like 4 to 6 notes. And this is used extensively. We heard it in the Chopin, in the something like that. And then we also heard it, you might not have noticed it because it was secretly hidden in the first piece that we did, in the waltz. It's at the bottom of the stack of music, but it's the part where it's soprano, not soprano, I think it's the flutes or something. It's major there, so it's kind of like the skeletons are having a good time. So this is like the one time you can flip it around and be happy music about being dead. Skeleton party. Okay, so in this one, we're gonna have that theme be like the main motif of this entire piece. It'll get really old by the end of this. Anyway, this is one of those ABA kind of pieces. So it starts out with a little theme, and then it goes into like a B theme, and it comes out of it and goes back to the A theme. And if we're thinking programmatically what this might be, it could be like, death is upon us. And then let's think happy thoughts for a bit, you know? Let's just dream, and then, but death is still upon us. So that's kind of what I like to think of as the B section. All right, here we go. fun story. I was practicing this because I don't have a piano in Vienna, and so I had to like kind of really cut down on the virtuosic stuff. But I was practicing that in Ireland when I was visiting my chin teacher from UCSD's place in Cork, Ireland. And his 4.5-year-old daughter heard me playing the beginning of this, and she's like, "Hey, that sounds like Nightmare Before Christmas." I'm like, "Oh my god, yeah, it is. It totally is." So that was really cool. And so, fun fact, it's almost in the same key. It's got 5 flats instead of 6, but it's again lots of black keys, very dark. This next piece is Jack's Lament from The Nightmare Before Christmas, and it will again be performed by the theatrical Daniel Watts. So this is not the really obvious Making Christmas, it's not that song, but throughout the soundtrack, Danny often actually buries the Dies Irae motif in like little secret spots. And in this song, you hear it in the waltz section. Oh, somewhere deep inside of these bones. So it's on the wrong beat, or not wrong, because I guess Gregorian chant didn't have a beat, but it's got the weird accent on the wrong beat. So anyway, it's still there though.
That thing's in Frozen too, also.
Yeah,
the sound
it's the choir chant, and also in the Bells of Notre Dame.
Ah.
It's all over the place. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Actually, these kind of pins my head weird. I'm gonna take them off.
There are few who would deny it. What I do, I am the best, for my talents are renowned far and wide. When it comes to surprises on a moonlit night, I excel without ever even trying. With the slightest little effort of my ghost-like charms, I have seen grown men give out a shriek. With the wave of my hand and a well-placed moan, I have swept the very bravest off their feet. Yet year after year, it's the same routine, and I grow so weary of the sound of screams. And I, Jack, the Pumpkin King, have grown so tired of the same old thing. Oh, somewhere deep inside of these bones, an emptiness began to grow. There's something out there far from my home, a longing that I've never known. I'm a master of fright and a demon of light, and will scare you right out of your pants. To a guy in Kentucky, I'm Mr. Unlucky, and I'm known throughout England and France. And since I am dead, I can take off my head to recite Shakespearean quotations. No animal nor man can scream like I can with the fury of my recitations. But who here would ever understand that the Pumpkin King with a skeleton grin would tire of his crown? If they only understood, he'd give it all up if he only could. Oh, there's an empty place in my bones that calls out for something unknown. The fame and praise come year after year, does nothing for these empty tears.
Daniel Watts is a musical theater in Idaho, Castle and stuff. We just plays, he writes great plays.
Community theater.
Oh. Okay.
We're at.
Oh wow, this very around
Oh,
from
she's
LA
at the
way
Star
over.
Theater.
I can't talk too much. All right, so, another solo song. Okay, so this is Rachmaninoff. This is, again, not super showy, but very dark. This is the Andante cantabile from a collection of 6 pieces. I think I wrote it in the program notes. Notably, this is a collection of pieces that Rachmaninoff wrote because someone stole his money on the train, and he was like, oh crap, I gotta pay rent. And so his editor, publisher, I don't know, they said, well, okay, if you can turn in 6 pieces by the 20th, we'll pay you. And he was like, I gotta write them down. So he wrote like 6 pieces in like 2 weeks. That's pretty crazy, and they all turned out really decent. This one is described by someone on Wikipedia. There was a reference. It's not like just some random bloke typing stuff. But it was said to be the most Russian of all of the 6 pieces, and also of many of his works. So I don't know exactly what they meant, but my piano teacher, who's Ukrainian, would often say that by culture, Russians are just like really emotional, and they just like got it welled up inside of them, and they have no outlet for it, and so it's lightning in a bottle. No, that's maybe not the right expression. Anyway, it's a roaring thunder in the bottle. I'm going to sit a little bit to the left of center. This is a very low and piece. Similar to the previous one I played, it's an ABA sort of deal. There's a little B theme that's a little bit more upbeat, if you could call it that. And you will find, once again, guess what? Okay. Sorry, it's getting really old. This is the last one that has it. Anyway, I won't wait, I wanted to point out, this is in B minor, which is by most people's, in most people's opinion, the darkest key, and I disagree with that, but 3 pieces on the program were in B minor, so maybe they're right. Let me just restart that now. Some of these keys don't work as well. This next song is a Beach Boys song, and I don't know if y'all heard, but Brian Wilson just died like a few days ago. So this performance is to him. Hopefully you don't butcher it. So this is not necessarily a spooky song, but I included it in the program because I like it. But also because people die. Okay, so that's maybe, I don't want to give spoilers. You'll understand thematically why it was included on the program afterwards. But let's see, let me give a little bit of a quick introduction on barbershop quartets. So this is something that you can't do on the piano. The piano's not tuned enough actually to do a demonstration. So the thing with equal temperament instruments like the piano is that you can't micro tune. You can't just like slide up and down like on a violin string. So you can't get like perfectly tuned chords. But if you're just singing with people or playing in a string quartet, you can do these things. And usually like sharps should be a little bit sharper and flats should be a little bit flatter to get that true barbershop ring. So it gives it that kind of magical sound that a cappella groups have that other piano and other ensemble groups don't. So I brought, as is customary for barbershops, I brought matching hats. Are you guys So you might know the famous barbershop group, the Buffalo Bills, who were in The Music Man. There's also, is it the Dapper Dans in Disneyland? Yeah. So we didn't bring matching suits or anything, but I brought us some mixed bag uniforms. So get on up here. Saki made these guys. Yeah, you did. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, sure. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, I left the glitter. I didn't see it.
Oh, I got it.
All right.
Start standing on the front.
Oh, let's stand in the middle. I think lead in bass.
Sorry.
Lead in bass. That is totally cautious of the bass. Alright, let's stand close so we can hear ourselves, especially because now it's going to be a clap. Alright, postcard photo. Apparently this is a moment. That's their photo. Alright. You want to actually just tune the first chord on the loop? Reminder that some of the lyrics are wrong on this one.
Gentle boy and the girl who wore his ring. Through the wintry snow, the world they knew was one, for their hearts were full of spring. As the days grew
Not very fast enough.
Did you practice it with you? So I actually designed this for rotation, but now that I have you, we'll just okay. You see page numbers up there. So these two are just because there wasn't a good spot. And then this one actually turns, everything else after that turns to the left. You can look at it. So this is originally suite for cello and jazz piano, and I arranged it for tenor sax and piano because I just really wanted to play it and I couldn't find a cellist. And then your tenor sax is in Austria, so I rearranged it for alto sax and piano. It's kind of not exactly the same vibe because it's not got that cello-ness, but I don't know, it's like for viola. It's okay. I still really did. Did you just fold the tops like this? Oh no. You just said or not? Okay. And Blaine came down from LA just to play this piece for y'all tonight. Actually, let me check my phone's still recording because I really wanted it recorded. Okay. I really wanted a recording of this for the YouTubes. Yes, I saw this sheet music on the website, so. Okay. There we go. You need a tune?
No.
Oh.
I'll do it on the fly.
Okay. Deep breath.
Good? Just doing it.
Half goes to me to cover rehearsal space costs, and the other half goes to Musica. They're really wonderful nonprofits that just keep music. So I'm also planning to go to Cutwater Distillery after this. So if you guys want to hang out, there's not really a reception space here, so we'll just head over. They have great cocktails and snacks and stuff. So yeah. They close at 10. It won't be like that late of a hangout, so. But yeah, we're gonna pack up a little bit here, so we'll probably head out in like 15 minutes and probably get like last call or